urgent public importance. And my contribution, my comments, are squarely in line with those concerns. And in doing so, I must bring to the attention of the House the reality. This is not politics. This is not NDC or MPP. This is about an international catastrophe which is affecting Mother Ghana. And the need for us to take away the politics and now have a new way of thinking to support our government. Because, Mr. Speaker, the call to evacuate Ghanaian citizens from Ukraine will come at a cost. No European country will evacuate our citizens for us. No Ghanaians, no European country. NATO will not do that. America will not do that. There is going to be pressure on the limited resources that we have. This is the more important reason why we even need it. You are saying you've not spoken into the mind. But if you are talking about the e-levy, that was the next point I was going to get to. That we should congregate around it and find a way of generating revenue as a country to save the situation. Because we are not in normal times. Harun Edrisu couldn't have raised this matter at a better time than now. He couldn't have raised this issue at a better time than now. This is a patriotic call.
2 days later, hear what he said.
These are not mine. I can take this, but I want to raise the matter. This is from Hansa. These were my comments. Mr. Speaker, I will read it. I have the video. Mr. Speaker, with respect. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you allowed him to make the point.
I have to catch a flight.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it may be you tomorrow. If you put an end to it, I will rest. You rule. But Mr. Speaker, we are in this house. I need to make the point. I am not attacking an editorial policy of Joy FM. I am talking about an untruth. Mr. Speaker, all I am saying is, I never said, and the record per video and the transcript would bear me out, I never said that we need e-levy to evacuate Ghanaians from Ukraine. I never said that. Excuse me, Mutaka, you are not the one to say this. Mutaka, from how you have suffered at the hands of misreportage, you are not the one to say this. Mutaka, you are not the one. The trauma you suffered, you are not. Let me read aloud. Mr. Speaker, let me read aloud. As a nation, read, listen, unless you are questioning the transcript. Let me read. As a nation,
leader,
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I would beg of you with the greatest respect. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you with the greatest respect. He made his point. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you with the greatest respect. He made his point. Let me make my point. After that, I would make my final comment to raise the matter. I may not even want you to proceed with your ruling. I say, let it be, but we are here. Let me make my point. As a nation, Ghanaian businesses which are supposed to do well to pay taxes will suffer. Businesses will not do well as expected.
For the rest of the year, or when they vote against me at some point, they'll vote against me because I didn't mention the name. You know, they're politicians and they're vicious people. Somebody said, sir, you've been in business, you've been in entertainment, The Apprentice, and you've been in politics. Who are the toughest two of the worst? The worst are the politicians. The toughest are the politicians. The meanest are the politicians. And the biggest lying scum are the politicians. Like Adam Shifty Ship. Where do you meet people like this?
Very good morning to you. Welcome to Diaspora Studio this morning. Meeting the Kofi Asante Mpari and Fifi Asante Mpari. I'm a pay a breakfast show. I hope saying na ye. We pacho obaswa no share. Let's do a very quick breakfast show before I start Monday. If it's very, very important. There's been a lot of ongoing issues in Ghana. There's been a lot of debates, a lot of things which have been spoken, or a lot of questions which has been raised. And Asemidika, say a lot of us, or a lot of Ghanaians, have had their opinion. I haven't had the time, and I'm yet to also give my account and my opinion on what I think what is happening. Intimibacho Obaswa no Washe. We're having a very quick breakfast show this morning. Ebacho Obaswa no Abumodia. So subscribe and so try and go to our YouTube channel and then subscribe it this morning. We want to see that subscription. We need to keep it going, please. So if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so. Why? Madaroma na yemfa ejumedieno and shisheso anope. There's so much to talk about. I'm not going to delay. I'm going to play 1 or 2 videos and then we will start our analysis from there. Having said that, you could see my topic this morning. I've said Obnoxious Ghana, and somebody will say, why are you saying Ghana is obnoxious? Yes, at the moment that is what it is. Obrodi Fe will be dog food. The expression dog food is it means messy. At the moment, Ghana is very, very, very obnoxious. It's very messy, and we need to find a way out of all this mess. So that is part of what we're going to look at also this morning. So please, when you do come on board, share it or tag somebody and let them know that I'm here. Let's use an hour to go through this as soon as we can. Thank you.
There is economic hardship in Ghana, and therefore we should be thinking about stopping the economic hardship. Otherwise, we'll have a coup. And that the reasons why we have a coup is economic hardship. But Atuguba cannot say that. You, Dr. Atuguba, you were a member of... You're a nice guy. We respect you. Don't do that again. Don't let partisanship worry you. Okay? Please, don't let partisanship worry you. This is partisanship. It's evil. Repent. Read John 3:16. Repent. What kind of thing is this? Can't do that.
The Labour Front in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, which has disrupted global economies. At the opening of the conference on Monday, President Akufo-Addo indicated that his government was cutting spending in the public sector in order to boost its economic recovery drive.
An economy in which only a small proportion of the population bears the brunt of direct taxation is unlikely to witness any rapid transformation. We have to make concerted efforts as partners to hasten our recovery from COVID-19 by finding intelligent ways of bringing everyone on board to contribute their quota, no matter how small. Government, on its part, is implementing a policy of cutting the budgets of ministries, departments, and agencies by 20% this year as its contribution to measures to ensure fiscal consolidation.
He added that the proposed e-levy will expand the country's tax base.
We cannot continue to allow less than 10%, specifically 7.8%, i.e. 2.4 million people of the population, carry the direct tax burden of 30.8 million people. We must provide an opportunity for every Ghanaian to contribute towards nation building. The proposed e-levy is one such innovative fiscal measure which will help improve our tax to GDP ratio on an equitable basis. I believe strongly that it is in the public interest that it should be enacted into law. We cannot continue to live forever on foreign savings. Those who are concerned about our debt burden are right to focus on it as a major preoccupation. It is time we accepted the full implications of our goal of Ghana beyond aid and designed our fiscal profile accordingly.
The president pledged.
In concrete terms, we need to implement.
Okay, I just have to pause this quickly for me to come in, and then we'll carry on from there. So let me quickly actually remove that. Let me remove that totally, and then let's pick up the pieces from there. So that was the president's speech with regards to the e-levy that he's appealing to the panel where he visited to give a speech, and also at the same time addressing the public and letting them know that government is ready to cut their expenditure or bring their expenditure down to, or cut the expenditure by 20%. So they're going to cut the expenditure by 20%. The question I'm asking is, he made a very important submission, cutting the expenditure by 20%. And at the same time, he also did mention that if you look at our direct tax systems, we only have 2.4% are the people paying taxes at the moment. Therefore, we have about 6.6% of Ghanaians who are not paying taxes with regards to direct taxes, because there are other indirect taxes that I believe almost everybody pays. Almost everybody pays. So that is a different argument, because we have VAT on purchases that when you go and buy things, those VATs are on there. You sit in a car, you pay taxes on because the fares that you pay, there's a tax element in it. And also when you go and buy your clothes, doesn't building materials, you name it, whatever thing that you purchase, the government has got a percentage of tax that is in it. So indirect taxes, we do pay a lot. Now the government is made, or the president is made such submission. On the same day, let's listen to Professor Atubuga, the submission that he also made. And then based on his submission, I will start my questions and then analysis for us to pick the pieces from there. So let's listen to Professor Atubuga, what he said.
Steps in order to prevent a coup and the collapse of our economy. The first step is to pass the damn fucking e-levy bill immediately and implement it effectively.
Conversations on numerous happenings on the labor.
Less than 10 that it is in the public interest.
Sorry, my apologies.
The e-levy is both done and a farafaka. However, to prevent the collapse of the economy and a return to the stranglehold of the IFIs, we have no choice but to pass it. As someone has noted, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will go down in history as, quote, the president of public debt, or, quote, the president of austerity, or maybe both. E-levy is the part of the presidency of austerity. The starting point for successfully passing the e-levy bill is for government to stop lying to us, the citizenry. Come clean. Confess that you had thought the job of managing the economy was simple, but that you now know better. Abate the arrogance and high-handedness. Ask the people of Ghana for forgiveness, and pray the people of Ghana that we have limited options right now. We either allow the economy to collapse and we all suffer, and get back into the grips of the neocolonial IFIs, or we use the e-levy to prevent economic recession and depression. Ghanaians are smart and empathetic and will gladly support the e-levy if this is done right. Fellow Ghanaians, if we do not support the Dan Farafakin e-levy, government will simply tax something else, such as fuel. They're already doing it, leading to a hike in trotro fares. And they will additionally steal for central government from the District Assembly's Common Fund, the GET Fund, the National Health Insurance Levy, the Road Fund. They are already doing it. Just like Kwesi Bocho discovered taxes on fuel during the Gulf War, Ken Ofori-Atta discovered taxes on Momo during COVID. We have in Ghana over 40.5 million mobile phone subscribers and over 17.1 million active mobile money subscribers. The total value of transactions on mobile money grew by a cumulative average growth rate of 65% between 2016 and 2021. Significantly, it rose from just 78.5 billion Ghana cedis in 2016 to almost 1 trillion cedis in 2021. And so the e-levy, depending on the rate and the patronage, could rake in billions of cedis every year. And the e-levy is easy to identify and cheap to collect. The bond markets say they won't give us money anymore, or at excessive interest rates. Domestic savings have been mopped up. What do you want the government to do? We can no longer borrow on the international financial markets except at horrendous interest rates, because our current debt to GDP ratio of over 80% has led to investor fears of our ability to pay or sustain payments of loan interest or principal at some point. Further, increased inflation in developed countries is expected to lead to an increase in financing costs in the international capital markets and consequently affect interest rates. It is no surprise that government has decided to suspend borrowing from the international capital markets. The Farafakin e-levy, as horrible and as wicked as it is the only way to save our economy from collapse in the near term. Fellow Ghanaians, the power is in your hands. Let us embrace the Farafakin e-levy and save our economy and our nation from collapse. This is the sad reason why I have become an ardent supporter of the Dan Farafakin e-levy. Because without it, the economy will collapse. As Ghanaians, we should, however, ask for one thing: absolute transparency every step of the way, in the way and manner the e-levy is collected and used. Occupy Ghana has called for this already. This is the place to establish a special e-levy commission, not in those other areas. History is beautiful and history matters. On 1st April 1852, the Gold Coast Poll Tax Ordinance was proclaimed. It failed and was finally scrapped by the colonialists in 1861. The problems were: 1, misapplication of proceeds; 2, embezzlement of tax proceeds; 3, weak monitoring; 4, poor patronage; 5, lack of consultation; and 5th, failure of the British to protect the coastal states from the Ashantis. In this case, a possible failure to protect low-income workers. This is 1852. The same problems the e-levy is facing today. The e-levy commissioner and commission have their job well cut out for them if they are to make the e-levy succeed. It is sad that we have had to get here, but it will be sadder if we do not pay it in the short run and start holding government by the throat to account for every little peso we pay. Citizen groups must actively audit the e-levy account as a backup to the work of the e-levy commission. After we pay the Farafakin e-levy, we need to immediately begin the process of redeeming our economy and our nation. And now I'm moving to the second step of the three-step redemption style.
Okay, I'll stop here and then do some analysis. Thank you, Professor Atibuga. This is Professor Atibuga. He is, to me, he's done far more better job than those who even brought the e-levy and trying to sell it to the people on trying to pass it through Parliament, because they haven't been able to explain themselves. They haven't been able to tell us why Ghana needs the e-levy so much. They haven't been able to actually get the citizens to understand the e-levy, the concept of the e-levy, whether the e-levy is going to be temporary or is going to be part of our tax system yearly or permanently. Professor Atibuga has done the NPP government a huge favor by going through all the steps, coming up with the pros and the cons and why Ghana needs the e-levy. The question we then have to ask ourselves is, how did we get here? We've gotten to a point that we need emergency money as a country to run that country. Today is 2nd. As of February, end of the month, public workers are still haven't been paid in Ghana. The government has come out with timetable that I think money due at the end of February, which was meant to be paid on 27th of February. Those actually 28th, isn't it? Yeah, I believe, yeah, 28th. Those monies will be paid in, I think, 25th March also, or 15th March. I think 25th or 15th March. I had the calendar somewhere. And it's pathetic. So public workers are meant to be waiting 2 weeks, possibly more, at the end of the month before for the government to go about to try and borrow some funds to be able to come and pay them. The question we need to ask ourselves as Ghanaians is this sustainable? And can this be done every month? And the answer to me is no. First of all, it's not sustainable. And secondly, this cannot be ongoing. It cannot be done every month, whilst workers have to wait 2-3 weeks before their monthly salaries come through. And government then happens to go about looking for money or to borrow money to come and pay them. And all those monies being borrowed at the expense of who? Is at the expense of Ghanaians again, because those monies will be accrued interest that Ghanaians has to go and pay those interest again. So now the question becomes, what is the way forward? What is the way forward? We all understand this NPP government or this particular administration led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia and Ken Ofori-Atta, who in UK we will say the treasurer, who is the finance minister, have wrecked our economy. They have wrecked the Ghanaian economy. The Ghanaian economy is being turned upside down. And their excuse is COVID. Yes, we can all understand that COVID played a part, but COVID is not the solely issue or the solely problem that has led the Ghana economy to its knees. It's mismanagement, it's excessive spending, lavish lifestyle, Arabian king style of living, trying to live a champagne style lifestyle on a budget that you have in your wallet, which is of a beer money, is what is gotten us to where we are. It's what is gotten us to where we are. And allegedly loot and share. A lot of money is leaked through the economy. A lot of money has slipped through the hands of this Ghana government that nobody knows where those monies went. And these monies are sitting in individuals' bank account because they were hoping and believing, they knew that their 8 years was going to be so rosary. So rosary. Unfortunately, COVID hit. And COVID hit the whole world. And even when COVID hit, COVID to me has come of a blessing to Ghanaian government more than a curse. And why am I saying that? They've been billions of dollars that this administration have had as a COVID fund from institutions around the world, IMF, World Bank, European Union, you name it. That all these monies have been given to Ghanaian government for free. These were free money. The question then becomes, what happened to those COVID money again that were free money given to the nation? We've gotten to a point, the economy is stalling. We have to find an immediate answers to be able to generate money, as Ghana will be on its knees. Ghana will be on its knees. I'll ask the question again. How did we get here? The overseers of Ghana economy, the so-called intellectuals, the scholars, the finest brains assembled, they call themselves, they have let this country down. They have let this country down. I want us to go back and listen to Professor Atubuga till the end. And then thereafter, we will then do further analysis and commentary. Thank you. So let me bring him on for us to listen to him.
That step is to exploit COVID-19 to shore up domestic production and import substitution, saving the cedi from its endless run at Hussein Bolt speed against the major currencies, and create the needed decent jobs to keep the youth busy so they don't join the coup. This process will include rationalization of the tax exemptions we offer in this country and reorder them to support domestic production. Our president, in his 2019 State of the Nation address, painted a dire picture of the tax exemptions regime, calling it, quote, a growing threat to fiscal stability and revenue generation, unquote. Again, using rapid COVID-induced digitization of the economy, we can easily reduce the cost of doing business and general transaction costs, even the cost of goods and services generally, using technological developments and innovations spawned and spurred by COVID. Rough as it may sound, the second step may also involve auctioning our bauxite or other mineral reserves to the Chinese, for example. For many billions of dollars, that will be used exclusively for rebuilding and extending our roads, railways, irrigation fields, power plants for export of power to the West Africa Power Pool and beyond, and so on. The production from these investments will then pay off our loans with change to lend to other countries. The third and last step is to constitutionalize our development. As a nation, we should be ashamed that my private firms plan for 4 to 10 years, whilst our entire nation has functional plans and budgets for only 1 year. The longest we plan for is 4 years as a country, and most of the times we don't get there. Are we all right? This is why we need to constitutionalize our development, so that the broad strokes of our development are contained in the directive principles of state as enforceable provisions, with a constitutional directive for an independent National Development Planning Commission to detail out from that a 40 to 50 year.
Welcome back again to Diaspora Studios. My name is Kofi Asante Impari, or Fifi Asante Impari. We're doing a breakfast show this morning, so welcome on board. Please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is Diaspora Studios YouTube channel, I'm going to put a link out there. Please try and subscribe. We need that subscription. It is very, very important. And also all our live videos will be done from that channel. So every time we go live, you will be prompted for you to be able to participate. That is not the end of Professor Atibuga's address, but I just want us to pick the pieces from here. Now, Professor Atibuga is the one who has been able to do proper analysis, giving the government solution of how they should approach their proposed e-levy, because it seems imminent, and therefore the steps and the guidelines that we should set up to safeguard how this money will be collected, and when it's collected, how it will be used purposefully. COVID money is estimated to be about 7 billion Ghana cedis a year. Did I say COVID money? Sorry, pardon me. E-levy, which is the indirect tax, is estimated to be about 7 billion Ghana cedis that will be coming in, the e-levy money, each year. At the moment, based on the information that I've seen so far, the government of Ghana needs 100 billion a year to be able to run a very effective economy. 100 billion. Last year, they projected to be collecting about 70 billion. They did not make it. I think last year they made about 57 point something billion was what they had through direct and indirect taxes in total. And they are projected 100 billion. COVID will e-levy will bring in 7 billion. There is one thing they also have to take into account. As soon as the introduction of e-levy occurs, there will be a decline in transaction on Momo transactions. Therefore, the projected 7 billion, which they've done based on all the people who are actively Momo users and Momo registers, they have to drop it to about 50%. They have to drop it to about 50%. Why am I saying that? Because They have already come out to tell us that for the past 3 months, Momo users is dropped. Momo users is dropped. That tells you that as soon as e-levy is passed, there will be a significant drop in the number of Ghanaians who will be using Momo. So instead of the 7 billion, they should make their projection to just about 3.5 billion. That still leaves us with a deficit of about 40 billion a year to run this country. 40 billion, which is still a massive hole in our budget. The question then becomes, they have to look at the bigger picture of taxing. They have to look at other angles of taxing. They have to probably look at taxing things like second homes, bringing things like inheritance tax in, but pushing a threshold to try and safeguard the poor. So if your house or proper asset is not worth more than 100,000 equivalent of US dollars, when you inherit it, then you don't have to pay anything. So that should be roughly the threshold. Then any assets more than $100,000, they have to come out with a percentage of inheritance tax that you have to pay. And the government has refused to introduce such because why? It's the rich and famous and a lot of the politicians who will be caught up in such taxes, because it's them who have huge houses, who have multiple houses, who have so much assets that their children and their relatives inherit. But if the government is making an argument that they're going to throw the tax net very wide, then they might as well widen it to catch everyone, including the rich. Including the rich. This is one of the reasons why Dr. Atu Buga is calling this e-levy the Farafakin e-levy. Whatever that Farafakin means, I don't know. But it sounds very provocative. It sounds very provocative. In all this, I think Professor Atubuga has done justice to the MPP party. He's done them a huge favor by breaking down the e-levy to Ghanaians and understanding it better. By telling us that without the e-levy, then our economy within months will come to a halt. So something has to be given. Something has to give as soon as possible. Now let's look at the backlash that Professor Atubuga is got from Good Evening Ghana Paul Adom Ochre after even speaking in favor of the e-levy. Because what Professor Atubuga did is called argumentative kind of speech. If it is writing, it will have been argumentative writing. You are for or you are against, but you condemned the against, and then at the end of it, you tell them why there is still the need to go for it. So he pulled both sides of the argument, because he doesn't just want to speak as the way that the NPP government have done it. They only speak of why e-levy is good and why e-levy should be implemented. but they do not come out and condemn why it shouldn't have been. Due to mismanagement, due to corruption, due to money sitting in people's personal account, and what have you. But rather, they've pushed everything to COVID. COVID now is worse than the witchcraft. Everything is blamed on COVID, which is not true. As I said earlier, personally, I see COVID more of a blessing to this NPP administration than a curse, because of the monies that they've inherited from COVID. Money that is being thrown at them for free because of COVID. And the lack of accountability from this administration. Somebody is raised a question here, Climatu, saying, what about all the money that they collected? All the money that they collected from the airport. All those charges from the airport. Do calculations of how many people walk through our airports a day. The lack of accountability. This government they have let Ghana down. They have let themselves down, and the country is going downhill. And in the immediate term, we need to come up with something to save this country. They are not willing to go to IMF, but if it's me, they should go to IMF. Why? Because IMF will scrutinize all their spendings. They will scrutinize all the money that this government had. And where these monies have gone, they'll be able to track where all these monies have gone. Then we'll be able to know who are the white collar thieves in our systems. And once we identify the thieves in our systems, we then come to a plan to safeguard the next taxes that we're going to collect. Because the issue a lot of Ghanaians have at the moment is the leakage in society, the sieve where money sits through, that we do not know where those monies go. Those sieves, those leakages are still there. They haven't been sealed, but you are going to collect more. So if you go and collect more, where is the assurance that you'll be able to look after what you're going to collect? Where is the assurance that those that you're going to collect will not be mismanaged again? That is one. The second question I have is, Ghanaians are going to pay through their noses to raise taxes for themselves, to pay for all these expenditures, national expenditures. But at the end of each year, or when a Ghanaian is out of job, they do not benefit from the taxes that they've paid. There is a massive issue with regards to taxation and social welfare. If the government really, really wants to introduce new taxes, for the people to accept it and said, yes, we have accepted it, I think they also have to have a look at how social welfare will also help the citizens of the states. Because they cannot just throw their money to the government and not getting anything back when they are out of work, not getting anything back when they old, not getting anything back when they are on a sick bed. Because a lot of the argument these politicians make is, oh, when you go to America, you transfer this, you pay. When you go to UK, oh, you pay over there, don't you pay heavy taxes? We do pay heavy taxes, but we reap the benefits of those taxes. When we are out of job, the government steps in and pay us until we find another work or job and carry on. The government look after our children to university. And even when they go to university, they give them university loans based on parents' income. On our pension. So for us, we've worked. The government will look at your national security contribution, and you will be paid your pension accordingly till you die. With regards to health, the government will make sure that in times that your health is deteriorating and you're walking from hospital in and out, you'll be looked after without paying a penny. With regards to your medicine, operations, you name it, without paying a penny. With regards to transportation, the government makes sure that pensioners get free transportation. They have what is called pensioners pass to board transport for free. These are the measures. So when you look at the benefit that you reap, when you pay those taxes, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. So the government have to rethink of possibly undoing the whole tax systems and making sure it interlinks with our social securities in Ghana and social welfare, and come out with something that could catch all the citizens within their tax systems. At the same time, come out with the benefits also for all the citizens. Because the argument at the moment, it seems it's just one-sided. It seems it's just one-sided, just one side that wants to benefit. And it just shouldn't be. Please, if you do come on board, share the video for me. I want us to have a look at a video that was done by Paul Adom Otri on his show last night. To me, I see as a backlash to Professor Atibuga. Let's listen to Paul.
Cabinet. Look at this. 5th November 2013, CD ranked the worst currency in Africa. That was economic crisis. Economic crisis not occasioned by COVID. It wasn't occasioned by it. It's just occasioned by pure mismanagement of the economy. Dr. Tuguba says that there is economic hardship in Ghana, and therefore we should be thinking about stopping the economic hardship. Otherwise, we'll have a coup. And that the reasons why we have a coup is economic hardship. But Atuguba cannot say that. You, Dr. Atuguba, you were a member of John Maham's cabinet. Look at this. 5th November 2013, CD ranked the worst currency in Africa. That was economic crisis. Economic crisis not occasioned by COVID. It wasn't occasioned by it. It's just occasioned by pure mismanagement of the economy and an ineptitude of what to do. Ineptitude. That's what occasioned this. There was no COVID. You saw the COVID happen. You saw the president talk about COVID and say that we are going to spend this and we're going to spend that. You saw the president alerting Ghanaians that this will bring economic hardship. And he said that I will do it anyway because we know how to bring back an economy that is bad to become good. And in the president's full statement, which I'll play, he said that we have inherited a bad economy from John Mahama. We have made it good. Here we are confronted with a global pandemic. and have taken the decision that we will protect lives and protect the environment. Damn the consequences. When the economy gets bad, because I've been told it will be bad, we know how to revive it. The WHO praised the president for that, for making a decision in favor of people in a third world economy. The finance minister published an article that says, what will an African finance minister do? Dr. Atuguba, you were sitting in John Mohammed's cabinet, no COVID, nothing. This is what you gave us. 2013. This was, did you call for coup at that time? Did you know then that when there's economic hardship, there will be coup? Why can you talk like that?
Point of correction. Point of correction, Paul Adomotri. Paul's emotions took over yesterday on the show. And in Ghana, as we speak, people like Paul Adomotri are part of our problems. I want this video to be shared. Somebody should tag Paul Adomotri. People like Paul Adomotri are part of our problems. Because Paul Adomotri has got the advantage of having one of the biggest media platforms in Ghana. And instead of speaking the truth and doing proper, genuine journalism, Paul Adomotri uses his slot and his platform to do. He's talking about propaganda. He does more propaganda than anybody else. Very annoying. And I'm going to pull few things that he said in this speech, which is a lie. His emotion took over and he was all over the place. Paul, calm down. Just calm down. You can't save Ghana by yourself. You cannot. If you keep going on like this, you're only going to get heart attack and die. You're doing this and defending this incompetent government. You call John Mahama government incompetent and inept. Likewise, the very administration that you defend them is even worse. And you're blaming all of that on COVID. All of that on COVID, which is not true. Which is not true. Your emotion is gone over and you're ranting. Let's keep listening to him, please. We'll pick up the pieces from there.
The dean of the faculty of law says that the reasons why there is coup is economic hardship. You have been executive secretary in the cabinet of a government that presided over one of the worst economic hardships in the history of the country. Without global pandemic, nothing. You inherited the economy from yourself. The NDC came into power in 2009 with Professor Mills. By 2012, they were still there. 2013, after 5 years of managing the economy, this is what you gave us. There was no pandemic anywhere. Nothing to occasion this kind of thing, apart from gross ineptitude and accelerated mismanagement. That is what brought this. In 2013, you didn't call for coup. Nobody called.
You see, this is the problem I have with, and I keep saying, people like Paul Adomotri. Why? Because Paul is twisted Professor Atubuge's statement and saying he's calling for coup. This is a professor who sat down and done a research with a colleague, and he is rather advising Ghanaians of how we should go about, or government, how the government should go about with the e-levy, and at the same time asking for calm for Ghanaians to accept the e-levy. And then he's come out with measures of how the e-levy monies should be safeguarded and ensure it does the very thing that they say. So it doesn't go through the same waste and individual pockets again. And that will stop social unrest, or it will keep people who think They want to overthrow government. You taking his words out of context and then now saying that he is calling for coup. But that's not true, Paul. And this is what is called propaganda. It's not true. You've just made a statement that this is not about NPP and NDC thing, which is true. But same person talking, you've got NPP colors under the very blazer that you're wearing, Paul, because you've refused to understand where Professor Atubuga is coming from. You've refused to understand a research that he's made and he's advising government and citizens. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Let's keep listening to Paul, because I don't get him. Personally, I don't get Paul.
The opposition MPP did not call for any coup at the time. They began to present their documentation for the 2016 election. That's what you do. You're an opposition party. You think the government is doing bad? That's no problem. That's a democracy. That's what we have. It's a democracy. You begin to campaign all over the world. Opposition people are not campaigning on COVID. Go to London. The Labour Party, who is in opposition, is not campaigning that the economy is bad and therefore is the fault of the Conservative Party. They are not making that campaign because everyone understands that there's a global recession because of a pandemic. This is not the first time into 1918 when there was a flu.
It's not complaining when you come to London because our economy, the UK economy, is not bad. It's doing really, really well. So do not sit there and say, oh, the UK economy is bad. Yes, the economy was bad during the heart of pandemic. And UK was UK was among the top countries that were heavily hit with COVID. Heavily hit with COVID. And even so, they've come through it. They've really pulled through beautifully. And that economy is working as normal. It is working as normal. You cannot compare the Ghana economy to any of these Western economies. So stop that comparison. And stop saying that the UK economy is in recession, because that's not true. Even in the heart of the pandemic, we never went into recession. Never. So stop selling lies to your viewers.
Swine flu at the time, or the Spanish flu at the time, there was a global recession that lasted for years. This is going to be a global recession that will last for a few years. Even then, in 2021, the projections that are being made by the Statistical Service indicate that the economy's growth will be better than 2016. Can you imagine that? And then who should come and tell us that we have economic hardship and link it to a coup d'etat? Raymond Atuguba, who was executive secretary of John Dramani Mahama, when the CD was performing the West without any catalyst. There was no COVID. You sat down and you held the economy from 2009, a healthy economy, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 years. You gave us this, and you have the effrontery to speak about the economy. I can't understand this. And I don't know why all those who talk about this economy thing, they always pretend COVID doesn't exist. Today I saw somebody on the social media says that it's not COVID. It's not COVID. What are you talking about? Do you understand the kind of expenditure that went into COVID? If there was excessive expenditure, if there was mismanagement, Parliament can deal with it. The institutions can deal with it. The documents are there. Anybody can look at it. But you can't.
Let me pause there for a second. Parliament can deal with it, institution can deal with it, the documents are there. How many times has it been requested even in Parliament for the president travel expenditure to be brought forth in front of Parliament for transparency? And you guys have failed to do so. You guys have failed to do so. Telling Ghanaians that because of security reasons, look, you guys should stop these games. Because the money that this country called Ghana inherited during the pandemic, that nobody know where the money went up to today. Nobody know. You guys, this administration came back with inflated figures of sanitizers and hand towels and nose mask and what have you. Disgraceful figures. Let's keep listening to his rants.
Don't tell me that the economy is bad and it's not COVID. How do I know that it is not COVID? We all know it's not COVID because you look at the figures. The economy was inherited in January 2017. You look at 2017's figures, look at 2018, look at 2019. You will see a certain trajectory. Here is a president who comes in and inherits economy that is doing 3.4. Agriculture was growing in the negative. Atuguba, have you forgotten that your agriculture, when you sat with in the cabinet of John Mahama, your agriculture was growing at negative? You come and tell us today that there's economic hardship and therefore there should be coup d'etat. You shouldn't be able to say that. You should never say that. You can't say that. You were in that economy 2013. Look at this. This is Ghana. Is today the cedi is the worst performing currency in Africa as well. Today it's been reported. It was same reported in 2013. John Mahama's economy without COVID, with nothing, no problem.
The sad part is even the president's own cousin, Fredua, praised Atubuga for actually doing a great job with his analysis. The president's own cousin. And look at Paul Adomotri. Because of his selfish interest, because he's pushed doing this, he's got a reward out of it by making him a board chairman of the airport, Ghana Airport. So he will keep defending these corners like this because of his selfish interest. Ghana, we have issues. We have big issues.
Nothing. Pure mismanagement and gross ineptitude. You people couldn't do it. That is what accounted for the cataclysmic effect of the 2016 election, where a ruling party was defeated by the largest number of votes ever. You sat down and you were defeated by the largest number of votes. That is why Akufo-Addo earned the record of being the first opposition politician under the Fourth Republic to win an election from opposition in the first round. It had never happened. But because of the poverty of the economic management of the John Mahama administration, of which you are Tuguba, you were an integral part. You sat down there, executive secretary to the president. You were there. You know it. You know how that system was managed. You saw the effects of the 2016 election. You saw it. The economy was taken over. At that time, nobody called for coup. When you presided over the darkest part of Ghana's history, the doomsday was the darkest part of Ghana's history as a result of lack of financing. Not just that, you left the economy, gave us a bill of $1 billion every year since 2017 for take or pay. Every year, the Ministry of Finance must find 1 billion, I didn't say million, no, 1 billion to pay for energy that was signed by John Mahama administration that we don't need because the energy companies wanted comfort, and I will do the same. They said that you take it or you pay. Because they could tell that you don't actually need the energy. They knew. But you were asking them to do it. What you didn't have was money to finance your energy infrastructure. They knew that he didn't need the money. So they said, okay. They knew he didn't need the energy. So they said, okay, if you do it, it's a take or pay. You left us with $1 billion bill. I don't even know why nobody is talking about this. Yeah, as far as the MPP investigators are concerned, you left us with $1 billion bill, take or pay. That's what you confronted us with. The government comes into office. In spite of that, they pick up the economy at 3.4. They move on. They do free SHS year one. In 2018, they take off the streets 100,000 people. NAPCO, they took off 100,000 people off the streets, paid them 600 cedis a month, gave some of them training. Some of them are employed today. Some of the NAPCO bills have not been paid. Yes, NAPCO said they've not been paid since September. But that was going to happen because of COVID. So he took 100,000 people off the street. And you look at all this, and today you come and tell us that, look at Ghana's economy, therefore there could be a coup d'etat. I think that the election must bow down his head in shame. This is horrible. It's the most horrendous statement that has ever come from
Mic is off. Yes, the more you listen to Paul, the more angry you become. Yes, Amama Gold, very good morning to you. Amma says, the thing is they have all been exposed and they are trying to stay relevant. Nobody takes him and others like him seriously. Absolutely. Somebody like him, he was exposed even badly in this Christmas tree corruption that he did. And these people are the very reason why we are where we are, and this country is crawling on its knees because we have people like him doing things with emotions because of their selfish interest. When the SHS that you were saying that the government did from the first year, when they started this SHS, weren't they advised that it's a wrong move? It's a wrong move. The SHS has sacked 7.7 billion from Ghana's money. 7.7 billion from Ghana's money. Good morning to you, Candy Abba. Candy say, this guy wants to spoil my day for what he's saying. I know, Candy, take easy. Don't let your day be spoiled by people like Paul. And Avero Kate, yeah, good morning to you, bruh. I hope you well as well. Please share the video for me. If you come on board, please tap the share button. And somebody should tag Paul at the mortuary for the very bad job that he did. He called this journalism last night. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And at the end of it, he forgot that it was Professor Atubuga who even helped him poll to get to where he is. To get to where he is, because he gave you a platform for you to be known. Somebody like Paul Adomotri. And Atubuga never said that there should be coup. The man has done his research. And he's coming out. If anything at all, as I said, Atubuga is done a lot more better job than the MPP government themselves, who came out with the e-levy. With the e-levy, because he's been able to explain it even better. And he's been able to tell the government the safeguards that Ghanaians will need for them to buy into it. Absolutely hilarious. Boys lost it. Totally lost it. We have issue as a country. I'm telling you, we have massive issue. What this government has to do is this government, let me finish with Paul, and then I'll come out with immediate solution and then long-term solution that this country needs, because something has to be done, and it has to be done as soon as.
Of the faculty of law, the most horrendous, the most inappropriate statement anybody can make is for Dr. Tuguba to stand there. You were in John Mohammed's cabinet. You were there. You left us with a lawyer. You left us with take or pay, 1 billion per year. You sat and presided over the collapse. You broke all the economic bottles and glasses in the Jubilee House. Everything was broken. No COVID, nothing. You took the economy from 2009. By 2016, you had run it aground, presided over the darkest era of Ghana's political, economic, social, and religious history by turning off our lights for years. You did that. Did anybody say we should go and do coup? Dr. Tuguba, I'm asking you. Did anybody say we should go and do coup when you and your administration put off the lights for years and the economy was down to earth? Did anybody say coup? You come and sit down there and you know that COVID.
Professor Achibuga did not say we should go and do coup. Stop taking his words out of context. Stop, Paul. These kind of things, it doesn't help the nation at all. Stop it. Stop it.
Has happened. Ghana has received applause for the handling of COVID. So much money has been pumped into it. The president had alerted that this was going to happen. The finance minister had alerted this was going to happen. And when it is happening, not just in Ghana, happening in the whole world, go to America. People's energy, gas is being shut down for $5. Never used to be. The American government is asking for $3 trillion from their Congress. Go to Britain, the shelves are there. There's nothing on the shelves. In all the shops.
Hold it there. Paul, that is a lie. You don't live here with us. You've been here on holidays a few times. You do not live in Britain with us. Who told you our shelves are empty? There's nothing on the shelves, and our economy is in recession. You see the way you guys spell lies to your audience and to Ghanaians? I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Lying thumb. You can lie through your teeth, Paul.
Everything is happening. Go to Japan. It's happening all over the world. And then you come and say that, look at the state of Ghana's economy. We should go and do coup. I don't know. Please send your text messages to Good Evening Ghana Official. Because I don't understand this. Maybe somebody must explain something. Somebody must teach me something.
Yeah, we're going to teach you something, Paul. We are going to teach you something. We're going to teach you that your thinking process is in reverse. I'm afraid to say so, but that is exactly what it seems it is. No disrespect to you. Because when you pick up a man's word out of context, and then you begin to analyze it and rant over it as a journalist, what do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing, Paul?
Reason. Ineptitude, that was the reason. Mismanagement, that was the reason. Incompetence, that was the reason. And then you talk about somebody who has held that economy that you've left flat on the ground, brought it up, and has been confronted by a pandemic, and you talk about it that there should be a coup. What?
Who is that? Who held that economy that was left flat on the ground, lifted it up, brought it up, wiped it, dusted it, cleaned it, washed it, bathed it, powdered it, creamed? Who is that? Who is that? You can't mention names, can't you? You just ranting. You can't mention names.
What is that? What kind of Ghana is this? Why do our serious people behave with this partisanship thing?
What kind of Ghana is this? That is a very good question. Ghana is what we have today because of you, Paul Adomotri, people like you. Because your types are so many in the system, and you guys are our problems. You guys are the very problem. You what's the other one? What's his name? The one that is just been given He's talking about that the free SHS should be reconsidered. He was also given a post. He was, is it okay or something? You guys are the very problem of that very country, Ghana.
And drive themselves straight into the gutter. What is the meaning of that? That must change. Let our analysts, let them speak the truth. You can speak NDC truth and you can speak MPP truth. There's no point, there's no quarrel about that. But it has to be true. Don't speak lies. Don't speak propaganda that is influenced by evil. These kinds of propaganda is influenced by evil. It's coming from the pits of hell. When you look at the people who are talking and you see they presided over this kind of thing, you cannot say anything else, but it's
coming from the pit of hell. And the pit of hell is your studio. That's where you're spelling all that propaganda from. The pit of hell. Thank you, Amama God. Yes, Kwame Sefakai. These people are the very reason why we are where we are. Because they only think about their selfish interest, their stomach, the positions they will occupy. Greedy people. Greedy people. Greedy people who have failed to speak truth to power. Speak truth to power, whether it's MPP, whether it's NDC, speak truth to power. You people are the very reason why we are where we are. Yes, clowns. Clowns they are. Absolutely. You listen to these people and you just think hell is broken loose. All of you, your time will come. Your time will definitely come, because we know this government or this administration will not be in power forever. You see how at the moment the NDC people like the Wyoming, the Opuni, the Atofosins, all of them have been dragged through courts. That is exactly what we will do to you guys. We will, hey, the maps will expand the prison and then build more courts instead of building cathedrals, because all of you will go through courts. All of you. Even if it is 10 Ghana, they will take you to court over it. 10 Ghana, they will take you to court over it. All of you, your time will come. Let them rant.
It's coming from evil. It's only evil that can let you do that. Nobody is saying that Ghana's economy today is good. The British economy is not good. No economy in the world can say that it is good today, post-COVID. Zero, you can't find it.
Who said the British economy is not good? Do you live here with us? You see some of the lies that you've been talking against. British economy is superb. And then the reserves Britain have. Britain can be in war for 20 years and its citizens will not be hungry because they have reserves. Paul, probably you should go to my channel and watch some of the videos that I've made with regards to British reserves. Very greedy people. Good morning to you, Alisha Hassan. Very, very greedy people. You guys, that is why, if you look at the initial page of this particular broadcast, I have a picture there of a politician sitting there, chubby, massive, eating his bake, and then the poor guy still feeding him, and the guy is so pale, so poor, so wretched. And that is how these people behave. We need to be sincere to ourselves. What is sucking money from our system as we speak is one of those things are free SHS and the lavish lifestyle of your president. A president who knows the country needs money. Meanwhile, he is flying a rented jet around the world. And then you have cabinet or MPs backing him and saying that when he goes, he brings money. So where is the money? If When he goes, he brings money. Where is the money? Look at the debt that this country has piled over the course of 5 years. Look at the debt. Are you guys not ashamed? People like you, Paul Adomotri, should bury your head in shame. The best thing for this government to do is to try and rethink of the free SHS. The free SHS has to be rethink. Those who can afford it, they has to pay for it. That will bring in some sort of money. And we, all of us as a nation, we need to begin to also rethink of how we contribute towards taxes. Having said that, before they will bring in any extra tax, they have to come out with measures to ensure that those money going to be collected is not going to go into waste and their lavish lifestyle and the individuals' bank accounts again. It is important because previously that is what is happening. People can't keep paying tax. I lived here, but I pay taxes in Ghana because I have assets in Ghana. That every year I file taxes in Ghana and pay. Sometimes before them, I even get my money, they've already paid the GRA part to them. Whether in a year I make profit or I do a renovation, therefore I don't make profit, the government doesn't care. And those systems, it's not even so unfair because it could be in a year I will end up doing renovation. So you need to tax me based on the profit. Based on the profit, but you don't tax me based on how much I've taken. Our tax system is shambolic, it's painful, it hurts. It has to be looked at and it has to be overhauled. Come out with better systems. And at the same time, try and throw the net as you're doing to catch everyone. That is absolutely fine. But then try and catch the rich as well. Those who have the 3, 4, 5 properties, inheriting billion-pound properties from their parents without paying any inheritance tax. You need to widen your net to those people as well. And those people will be like you, Paul Adomotri, and your colleagues, and the Eugene Ahins and the president himself and his cousins. You guys are so annoying. Very annoying.
Especially those countries that put themselves in COVID. Look at Britain. The Prime Minister of Britain has decided that he's going to stop the testing because he says the testing is costing Britain £2 billion a year.
The testing is costing Britain £2 billion a year. That is not the reason why. It's not because they can't pay. They can, but we need to learn to live with COVID. We need to learn. The Prime Minister of Britain is that taught Ghana something. He said, look, I'm stopping the testing. It's not the test, it's the natural flow testing. It's not the PCR testing. So when you explaining it to your audience, try and explain it better. The Prime Minister of Britain is not stopping testing as a whole. He's stopping what is called the natural flow testing, whereby you go on your computer and apply for those natural flow, and then they send it to you via post. As I speak, I have more than 30 of the natural flow testing in my home because the children go on computer every day or every 2 days, they have to do it. And I've said to them, no, do not order anymore. Because what it does is each household end up having so much. And some people will end up abusing it. They will send it to even their people in Africa and you name it. So it's a wise move for Prime Minister to say, look, let's learn to live with COVID. They're stopping testing. Even a month or 2 to come, they're going to stop isolation. That doesn't mean that they cannot afford it. But what they're trying to do is we need to learn to live with COVID because COVID is here to stay with us. So we need to try and normalize the lifestyle and how we live. What has Ghana done? What has our president done? Up to today, our land borders are still closed. How do you learn to live with COVID with that? Meanwhile, these land borders, when they open, they also bring money into the system. At the same time, you're crying for money. Hey, your problem as a nation. Jesus. Nkrofobinum say any idioma be so. Oh, gosh.
He can't continue because the economy is in a recession. That's Britain,
Hey,
the United States.
Hey, Paul. Britain economy is in recession. Paul Adomotri says Britain economy is in recession. It's a lie. It's a lie. Please share this video. Let this video go. And also tell people should tag Paul Adomotri and the Good Evening Ghana team to it. Britain recession. Economy is in recession. Then when you brew, Paul. When you saw a brew, Niebefi wa anasa wa adwen no, niebeba wa adwen mu bi ana wo ka say, you being stupid now. Nobody will respect you from last night because now we know you speak lies. You telling Atubuga to go and repent. You should go and repent. Or you should go and sin no more. You should go and sin no more. Jesus Christ. Lies.
United States president is going to Congress. He's asking for $3 trillion to save the economy. People have lost their jobs. In Ghana, people lost their jobs. The government is finding them jobs back. Look at all over the place. The roads are being constructed. Government has gone to parliament with an e-levy and says that this is very important because of the situation we find ourselves in. And then one who presided over darkness comes to tell us that the economy is bad, so we should be wary of coup d'etat. My goodness. Anyway, Dr. Tuguba, don't do that again. You're a nice guy. We respect you. Don't do that again. Don't let partisanship worry you. Okay? Please, don't let partisanship worry you. This is partisanship. It's evil. Repent. Read John 3:16. Repent. What kind of thing is this? Can't do that. Anyway.
Somebody should read John 3:16 and repent. You to go and sin no more. Paul Adomotri. Go and sin no more. I won't give you a scripture to go and read. You go find yourself a scripture and read. But go and sin no more. You are ridiculous. You, Paul Adomotri. Very ridiculous. Very, very, very ridiculous. Very ridiculous. I'm shocked.
Not understand this kind of double standards that occurs in our this partisanship that drives even our intelligent mind straight into the. Atukuba gave me an opportunity in 2010 when he was the what was he? The executive secretary of. He likes being executive secretary, pal, because he was also the executive secretary of the Constitution Review Committee, and we're discussing what our constitution can become so that we can build it forward. That was 2010. I don't know when he moved from that to become, he became the executive secretary. We're all happy with that. He's a bright young man. He was my TA in law faculty, very good guy. So everybody was excited about the appointment. Then he resigned from John Mohammed's administration. Some people applauded him. I didn't ask him why, I don't know. And then today, he's moved from the constitutional vanguard to talking about coups because of economy, forgetting the economy that he presided over. Anyway, I'm still grateful to him for that opportunity. Here is a glimpse of what happened when he gave me the opportunity.
Next witness is Mr. Paul Adomotri.
My name is Paul Adomotri.
And nobody want to hear about your name and all that rubbish. Somebody gave you such an opportunity, and then today, the person you take the person words out of context and then hit the person back with it and insult. Not insult, but what I call calculated insult on the person, and then you end up saying that, oh, the person gave me opportunity. You should have known that from beginning, and lied and lied and lied. The lies has to stop, Paul. The lies. You talking of propaganda. You guys are the very people who do the propaganda. You guys are the very people. You know, let me take him out of my stream. 1 second, remove him from that stream. Yeah. You guys are the very people who do all these propaganda and tell all these lies and stories and come out with also. And it has to stop. It has to stop. It has to end. We need to have the flag of Ghana on our chest. And then if every single Ghanaian is saying Ghana first, we will get to where we want to go. We will definitely get to where we want to go. At the moment, that's not what it is. At present, that's not what it is. You sit there, you lie through your teeth about British economy in recession, no food on the shelves, America needing this, Britain can't afford the testing anymore, which is not true. All these things that you say are not true. Are not true. They are not true. Pure lies. And you guys are very good at it. Very good at it, because you've been properly coached and trained to do so. Trained to do so. You're even doing better job lying than Hobson now. Than Hobson now. Look, I'm about to end this. I think a message is being sent. I've done critical analysis, and then I've asked critical questions. But the most important thing I need to ask all Ghanaians is, as we speak, the economy, Ghana economy is just about to grind into halt. So what are some of the things that we can do to safeguard economy as we speak? We need to raise money some way, because the world will never be the same. From the one of my things that are my shows that I did 3 days ago. The West is in a big fight now. They're wasting a lot of money. They've just come from pandemic. Our economy is not performing good. There's no way Ghana will be able to even get any money from anywhere. Why? Because they don't even lend us the money, because we've totally overspent, and something has to happen. Therefore, I think the only route that we have to go now, as Professor Atu Buga said, is the e-levy. The e-levy, I can see being accepted, being passed through Parliament, but we need to be able to come out with the measures that Professor Atubuga also mentioned to safeguard the money that will be collected from the e-levy, to ensure that it doesn't get into the hands of those greedy people and their bank accounts again. That is for a short term. In the long term, I think the government has to have a wide look at how our taxes are being collected again. They have to throw those tax nets even extremely wider to try and catch almost everybody. We need to try and digitalize our systems, and therefore it doesn't matter what work you do, you'll be able to contribute something into our taxes and into the social welfare. At the same time, government also has to be able to come up with something that will also benefit the citizens, because you cannot, it just cannot be one-way traffic. It takes two to tango. You can't just take as a government. Meanwhile, the people or the citizenry do not benefit from what they pay out. There has to be incentive. There has to be some benefit. So it has to be give and take. Therefore, the government has approach on taxation. I think it has to be hand in hand with social welfare. And when that happens, I don't think the people of Ghana will have issue paying taxes, because they know that in terms of the days when they really need assistance, they can fall back on that assistance. This is food for thought for the government. They should think about that, take into account, and then come out with a solution to fix our tax situation. Thank you very much for coming on board this very morning to join me. My name is Kofi Asante Mpare, or Fifi Asante Mpare. Please share the video, tag people, let the video get as far as possible. If you have not also subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so, because I need that subscription big time. I really do. I'm going to play my last video. Stay on and watch it, and then I will end the program. Thank you, and God bless you all.
And my contribution, my comments, are squarely in line with those concerns. And in doing so, I must bring to the attention of the House the reality. This is not politics. This is not NDC or MPP. This is about an international catastrophe which is affecting Mother Ghana. And the need for us to take away the politics and now have a new way of thinking to support our government. Because, Mr. Speaker, the call to evacuate Ghanaian citizens from Ukraine will come at a cost. No European country will evacuate our citizens for us. No Ghanaians, no European country. NATO will not do that. America will not do that. There is going to be pressure on the limited resources that we have. This is the more important reason why we even need it. You are saying you've not spoken into the mind. But if you are talking about the e-levy, that was the next point I was going to get to. That we should congregate around it and find a way of generating revenue as a country to save the situation. Because we are not in normal times. Harun Idrisu couldn't have raised this matter at a better time than now. He couldn't have raised this issue at a better time than now. This is a patriotic call.
2 days later, hear what he said.
These are not mine. I can take this, but I want to raise the matter. This is from Hansa. These were my comments. Mr. Speaker, I will read it. I have the video. Mr. Speaker, with respect.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you allowed him to make the point.
I have to catch a flight too.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it may be you tomorrow. If you put an end to it, I will rest. You rule. But Mr. Speaker, we are in this house. I need to make the point. I am not attacking an editorial policy of Joy FM. I am talking about an untruth. Mr. Speaker, all I am saying is, I never said, and the record per video and the transcript would bear me out, I never said that we need e-levy to evacuate Ghanaians from Ukraine. I never said that. Excuse me, Mutaka, you are not the one to say this. Mutaka, from how you have suffered at the hands of misreportage, you are not the one to say this. Mutaka, you trauma you suffered. You are not. Let me read aloud. Mr. Speaker, let me read aloud. As a nation, read, listen, unless you are questioning the transcript. Let me read. As a nation,
leader,
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I would beg of you with the greatest respect. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you with the greatest respect. He made his point. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you with the greatest respect. He made his point. Let me make my point. After that, I would make my final comment to raise the matter. I may not even want you to proceed with your ruling. I say, let it be, but we are here. Let me make my point. As a nation, Ghanaian businesses which are supposed to do well to pay taxes will suffer. Businesses will not do well as expected.
For the rest of the year, or when they vote against me at some point, they'll vote against me because I didn't mention their name. You know, they're politicians and they're vicious people. Somebody said, sir, you've been in business, you've been in entertainment, The Apprentice, and you've been in politics. Who are the toughest? Who are the worst? I said, the worst are the politicians. The toughest are the politicians. The meanest are the politicians. And the biggest lying scum are the politicians. Like Adam Shifty Schiff. What do you mean?